Welcome to Lovoria Network. I'm so glad you're here with me today because this is one of those stories that can shake you to the core, not just because of the betrayal, but also because of the way it teaches us about trust, honesty, and knowing your worth in a relationship. Today, I want to share my personal journey about how my fiancée, the woman I loved and trusted with everything, secretly tried to change the prenup we had agreed on before marriage. But instead of confronting her right away, I made the decision to let her believe she had pulled it off. And what happened afterward is something you might not expect. It all started a year before our wedding when I brought up the idea of a prenuptial agreement. I wasn't wealthy beyond imagination, but I had worked incredibly hard to build a business from scratch. I had savings, property, and a future I wanted to protect, not out of greed but out of responsibility. When I first mentioned it, she hesitated, but eventually she agreed, saying that what mattered was love and not money. I believed her, and I thought that was the end of it. But as the wedding date drew closer, little signs started appearing. Subtle, almost invisible, yet loud enough for someone paying attention. She would make offhand comments about how couples should share everything equally, or she'd ask questions about how my business could one day be ours. At first, I brushed it off. After all, we were engaged. It was normal for her to imagine a future together. But something inside me kept whispering to be cautious. One evening, while she was in the shower, I noticed her laptop open on the couch. I've never been the type to snoop, but that whisper inside me grew louder. Something told me to look. And there it was, an email draft to her lawyer, asking about ways to adjust the prenup terms so that more of my assets would become shared after marriage. She hadn't sent it yet, but the intent was crystal clear. My heart sank. I stared at the screen, feeling like the ground beneath me had vanished. I didn't confront her that night. Instead, I played it cool. I kissed her goodnight, held her close, and smiled as if nothing had changed. But inside, I was burning with confusion. Was she marrying me for love or for what I had built? Was our entire relationship based on lies? I couldn't sleep, and the next morning, I made a decision that would shape the rest of this story. I was going to let her believe she had succeeded. I contacted my lawyer privately and explained the situation. He helped me adjust the documents in a way that looked exactly like what she wanted, but with a hidden clause that still protected me. She wouldn't be able to tell unless she dug very deep, and honestly, I doubted she would. It was painful because in that moment, I wasn't protecting our marriage. I was protecting myself from the woman I thought I was going to marry. Days turned into weeks, and she seemed happier than ever. She smiled more, hugged me tighter, and even spoke excitedly about our future together. I played along, but deep inside, my love for her was changing. Trust, once cracked, doesn't heal easily. I began to question everything, every "I love you," every sweet word, every dream we had shared. Was it real, or was it all just part of her plan to secure a comfortable life? Then came the day we signed the final documents. I'll never forget the look on her face. She was calm, confident, almost relieved. She probably thought she had gotten away with it. And as she signed her name, I smiled back, hiding the storm inside me. That moment felt like a play where I was the actor and she was the audience, unaware that the script had already been rewritten. In the weeks before our wedding, I kept testing her in small ways. I'd bring up the possibility of financial struggles, hint at setbacks in my business, or joke about losing everything. Her reactions spoke louder than words. She would brush it off, but I noticed the flicker in her eyes, the slight hesitation, the way her smile didn't quite reach her heart. The wedding day arrived, and on the outside, everything was perfect. The venue sparkled, the guests were smiling, and she looked breathtaking walking down the aisle. But behind my smile was a heavy heart. I wasn't the same man who had proposed to her. I wasn't blinded by love anymore. I was aware, cautious, and waiting. As we settled into married life, the cracks became even clearer. She pushed harder for us to buy luxury items, upgrade our home, and take expensive trips. It wasn't about building a life together. It was about spending what she thought she had secured. And every time I nodded, smiled, and played along because I knew the truth. Months later, the truth came crashing down. She went to make a financial move she thought she had the right to make, and that's when she discovered the prenup wasn't what she believed. The rage in her eyes, the way her face twisted in disbelief, was something I'll never forget. She demanded answers, screamed that I had tricked her, but in reality I had only protected myself from her trick. The argument that followed broke us. She admitted that she had wanted security more than anything, that she thought changing the prenup was harmless because we were going to be together forever. But to me it wasn't harmless. It was betrayal. Love without trust is nothing but an illusion. And in that moment I knew our marriage was already over. We divorced within a year. Painful as it was, I walked away with my heart scarred but my future intact. I had learned the hardest lesson of all. Sometimes the person you love the most can also be the one who betrays you deepest. Looking back now, I don't regret letting her believe she had outsmarted me. If anything, it gave me the clarity I needed to see her true intentions. It hurt, but it saved me from a lifetime of lies. And that's why I'm sharing this story with you today. If you're in a relationship, don't ignore those small whispers of doubt. Don't brush off the signs just because love makes you blind. Trust your instincts, protect yourself, and never forget that honesty should be the foundation of every union. Life isn't about securing wealth through someone else. It's about building a future together with love, respect, and truth. If you don't have those things, no contract, no wedding, no promise can ever make it real. So to anyone listening right now, I hope my story reminds you to value yourself, protect your heart, and never settle for someone who doesn't value your trust. Because in the end, money can come and go, but once trust is broken, the relationship is already lost. That was my story, shared with you here on Life Stories Network. Thank you for listening, and remember, your story matters too.